welcome to episode 2 of B and J at the movies. The "and" is not silent.
And not optional. We have to have that there.
Exactly.
It's in our contract.
And he is B, which is stands for
Bernardo. And you have J on the other side. That stands for
John.
Jesus.
So...
No, Jeez, no, it's John.
I told you not to call me that on camera.
So yeah, it's been sort of like a big hiatus since the last one. We had another one prepped that was about the
gentleman,
yeah. And but the video file, it was so much awesomeness that the video file got corrupted and we couldn't share with the rest of the world. So
yeah, and the camera actually combusted in from our awesomeness.
Yeah, so then COVID-19 happened, so we took a break from doing this, but now we're back from outer space, and so let's see if we can get this thing back and running. So today we decided to talk about 21 bridges.
21 bridges, a lot of bridges.
A lot of bridges. So the story is about, it happens in Manhattan. There's this drug deal gone wrong. Some police officers get killed. And then because they take police lives very seriously, they decide to investigate. The name of 21 Bridges comes from the fact that they decided to close Manhattan for the night. And apparently there are 21 bridges, which is actually not true according to the trivia I read. I think there are 16 bridges and 5 tunnels. Anyway, so they decided to close all the way out of all the ways that would make you leave the island.
In and out of the city, yeah. It would have been a better name if it was 15 bridges and 5 tunnels.
Yeah. Plus the boats. So he has our boy from Wakanda Forever, Chadwick Boseman. He did a good job, I think, as the lead in that. J.K. Simmons, always a pleasure seeing that guy playing J.K. Simmons. I mean,
you have to like J.K. Simmons. He's just an absolute legend. It's just, you just see him and it just makes you smile. Every scene, every cameo he does in any show or movie, I just have a massive smile on my face. He has exactly the same voice in every show, and every movie, but it's just him. He's amazing.
He's quite good. He's quite good. Who else is there? Keith David. I'm just skipping ahead.
Right. There's Sienna Miller.
Sienna Miller. Yeah. So
she's on Layer Cake.
Yeah, she's in Layer Cake. She is also on G.I. Joe. But do we talk about that, G.I. Joe?
No, I'm not sure she talks about that.
She was the Baroness on those movies. You had Keith David, who plays the deputy Chief Spencer.
For anyone that watches black movies, he is always the villain. So he's always. Well, if you watch black movies that go straight to DVD. Keith David plays the horrible husband, the bad dad, the a corrupt priest. He's just always just super negative. So it was actually quite refreshing to not see him play a villain.
Doesn't he play opposite to Ashton Kutcher in one of those? He's the father of the girlfriend.
Oh no, that's Bernie Mac, and Guess Who?
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's Bernie Mac. Yeah. We know we don't all look the same. Play with you. I'll play with you, but yeah. So he's in the movie.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it's
And
Chadwick Boseman who plays Andre Davis. He comes like his father was a police officer who got shot and killed in the line of duty. And like they have this big. Actually, I think the beginning of the movie is his memorial service with like very striking scene when they
yeah,
take the coffin out of the church and then everyone salutes it, and it's quite nice because they do like a overhead shot, and then you have all the police officers just standing there in line, and then they all salute him, and all you see is like white gloves coming up, and it's quite
yeah.
like a nice shot, I thought.
It also makes you, like, from the beginning, realize how serious police take other policemen's lives,
Yeah.
and how they all show up for it, and they're all saddened by it. So it kind of gives you that whole police brotherhood idea from the beginning. So that was kind of a nice way to start it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like we haven't heard about it before in like Blue Bloods,
Oh,
and, but
yeah,
it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing. And then we skip a couple of years ahead. He graduated from police academy. I don't recall, is he on homicides or what? Like which department is he on?
Well, like, from my recollection, he was a detective that was a bit trigger happy,
Yeah.
and was getting taken off to do homicides, so he couldn't be in the line of duty shooting people up. Which
Guess what
is
happens?
quite the theme right now, huh? So
yeah, I think that was a good choice, right?
yeah.
Yeah, not charged at all. Yeah. And then we see these two guys who seem to be sort of like they weren't big players or anything in the world of drugs. They
Essentially mercenaries that just took contract jobs.
Yeah. So they get this. So they are called. So they were supposed to just do like a pickup. So no, not a pickup. Like they were actually supposed to rob those guys drugs.
Yeah.
And as they are there, they sort of like shit happens, and and then some police officers stop by, and then
yeah. So what was presumed to be an easy get in and out job turned quite left when police turned up, and one thing leads to another, and these two guys that thought that they were going in for an easy job are now at large, are running from the boys in blue, NYPD, the biggest police force in the world. So you don't mess with them, and so how serious they were. They decided to close down the city after less than like a minute of.
So that's. I mean, suspension of belief and everything, but like it's supposed to be the city that never sleeps, right? And then it's like how they decided to close it. There were some FBI guys as well for some, like stick measuring contests about like who gets to lead this and everything, and then so they cut NYPD slack and say like, okay, you have until 6 a.m. to figure this out, which gives them I think like 8 hours to do this. Close down the city, and then there's no traffic whatsoever.
Like, so they closed down the city, and all of a sudden people within Manhattan stopped going around to wherever they were. There's no gridlock of people being like, what the hell, I can't leave. You just close this down all of a sudden.
Because they also closed the subways, so like everything was down like that, like you couldn't get out of the city of the island,
which was a bit inconsistent, because there was another scene later on where it didn't seem as if the subway was closed.
No, I think it was about to start. running. I think that was like supposed to be the first train out.
Right. Okay. All right.
But
I didn't get
like
it, yeah.
conveniently, just
Yeah. And for me, it's like I don't know if police have that power without consulting a mayor or a governor or.
I think it was supposed to be the governor, and I think they got the all clear to do it.
I think they said if they have to catch them or they will have hell to pay with the governor, because they didn't. They kind of went and did it before they consulted the governor to make sure they didn't escape.
So your favorite black bad guy, like Keith Davies, like I think he took responsibility for that. It's like, yeah, let's close it down. FBI stay back. Yeah,
he's police chief, right? So I don't understand how a police chief could be like, hey, I'm just going to close down Manhattan, like, you know, and like, do you know how much money you'll cost the city to do that? You know, like the knock-on effects. So you have to be nitpicky, but
no, but I mean, like it's one of those things, right? I mean, you have to have that suspension of belief in order to like enjoy the movie. And it's the whole premise of the movie. Like could they maybe chosen like a smaller city, I guess, but you know, it's I think it's part of the allure, you know, to have like New York, Manhattan is in lockdown, no one comes in, no one comes out, like everyone that was in the bodegas or the streets of the club, everything, like it's automatically back home, like the territories, they transported themselves somehow, and it's, you know, it's it has its flaws, but I still thought of it as an enjoyable movie.
Okay, so let's that brings us into what did you like? What are the two things you really liked about this movie?
So I really enjoyed the action scenes. I think they were well choreographed, and you know, like the camera work was really nice as well. The way that everything sort of like worked. Of course, you have the thing that like the main characters are never shot, like they never miss and they never get hit. So you know, that's Hollywood. That's like movies in general. I mean, it's just what it is. Yeah, I think so. I think like I really like the choreography of the gunfights. The chases were good, were interesting. And I really liked how like the main character Andre had this sort of like you like you could say he was a good detective in the sense that like he didn't took things for granted. So like he, you know, he started digging, and then, you know, he although he has this fame of being like trigger happy, like you see that that's not him. Like on all these instances, every time that got brought up, he always say like, oh, they were all justifiable. And like you can see like throughout the movie how like that actually seems to be true, like
exactly,
part of his character. Those were the things that I liked. Back to you, John.
I liked that it kind of showed that like it had him questioning the very thing he had been looking up to and trying to aspire to his whole life, and how, like, you know, you could see like his moment of being told that Father Christmas isn't real, like, you know, that moment where he was just like, sorry, Bernardo, I'm not sure if you were told, but
I mean, but just here, right, in Brazil, he's still real. Like it's just here in the UK that he's not real. All right, okay.
It's literally just a London thing. And I quite like that, like, you know, just the kind of taking on the whole thing from like his father and trying to constantly in his everyday like live up to his dad's expectations and what he saw as a kid and what the police meant. And he kind of never wavered from, you know, protect and serve, and always wanted to it's actually catch the baddie, which, you know, in a way it sounds naive and stuff, but like, you know, he just kind of was very black and white with that.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, you know, was interesting to know that he wanted to see the truth. What I also liked was the complexity of uh, the character that was played by Stephen James, Michael, who was the second one of the suspects.
Yep.
I
mean, they were suspects, like they did the crime.
Yeah, yeah. One of the criminals. Yeah, I stand corrected. Yeah, so I quite liked the fact that he was not bad by nature and seems to have been dragged along because he too had a family member that he was looking up to and wanted to follow in his footsteps, and trusted somebody that he probably shouldn't have trusted. And so it kind of showed that from both sides of the coin, they were both following stuff that they were looking up to from a lost family member. So it kind of that was quite interesting. Those are the two things that kind of stood out for me. Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, like they it's like, as you said, like two sides of the same coin, right? Like you could pretty much like mirror then into that's quite deep.
Yeah. So for like a gunslinging movie, like there is some depth to it
layers,
at times.
Man. Layers upon layers.
Yeah, it's a cheesecake of a movie.
Yeah. And what about stuff that you didn't like? I mean, we already told about the whole, you know, logistic of locking down Manhattan in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, they're like the most efficient police force ever. Like, you know,
they're famous for that as well.
we work smart, not hard.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like,
I didn't like the plot twist was easy to see. You could see it from a mile away. And the one moment that, like, you know, the one character was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go and do this." You're like, "You're a baddie."
Yeah.
And then from that, you could kind of say, okay, so that means that this person's a baddie, this person's a baddie, this person's a baddie. And when that grand reveal happened, or the twist happened, and like things came to light, it was kind of like, oh, well, yep, I saw this happening. And in a way, that kind of killed it for me, because I would have liked it to for me to have thought, oh, this is where they're going, and then being completely blindsided by something else. And I think that would have maybe just like throw my popcorn in the ceiling. But another thing that I didn't like about the movie was the lack of like diplomacy and conversation and stuff, and like everything was resolved with bullets. And it just seemed like a very easy cop out. I know we're in America and they've got guns and everything, but it just seemed like, you know, hey, I don't shoot out, and then it's like, okay, I guess this person's dead. That's one person we have to deal with, and then oh, this next person's gun, and it's like, okay. And I just feel like, you know, in the subject matter, they could have done it in a way, a kind of a House of Cardi way, where he doesn't know who the players are, and it's like a mind game with him trying to solve this crime that we think is the main crime, but then also have this other thing at the back unraveling that he's piecing together in his mind. And have, so like, I would have taken a less gun-tooting approach if I was directing it. But overall, it was an enjoyable movie for me.
It is, yeah. I mean, like, talking about like solving everything with a gun, like there's this one scene when like there's one character that's like literally on the line of fire, and the other decides to shoot, and then it's like, why? I mean, no, like, it's like, did you skip that class of police academy? Like, there's someone in the line of fire, like, don't shoot. And so for me, I think as well, like the shooting thing, you know, there's it's one of the final scenes of the movie, sort of like the like when everything sort of like concludes, and it's just it sounds like a little bit like John Wickish almost, you know.
Yes.
It's
Very
like
kung fu.
yeah, gung fu, yeah. So
Yeah.
like John Wick is sort of like accepted because, you know, it's supposed to be sort of like a comic booky movie, you know, like
Yeah.
law of physics don't apply and everything, but this was supposed to be grounded on reality, and
Yeah.
yeah, like he solves the problem, but just like, you know, shooting aimlessly at everyone. So, you know, it's one of the, but like it doesn't diminish it. It's a good popcorn movie. You know,
Sure.
I enjoyed it. I was glad to have it on my list, and you know, yeah, it was a good one.
Would you watch it again?
Probably yes, probably yeah. I think watching it again. I almost did for this for our little discussion here. I decided against it. But yeah, I'll probably watch it again. Probably watch it again. But you know what
And,
it made me want to watch? Heat. I need to watch that again.
He, yeah,
You
yeah, it's a
know,
good film.
yeah, okay, yeah. So I need to watch that one again because like talking about like goodies versus baddies, you know, Al Pacino, you know, everyone. It's just such an amazing piece of art.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard to make a classic modern day cop film. I think the last one I've watched that was like, well, the last two I've watched that were, one was a comedy and one was actually a drama, was Training Day, which was fantastic, and then The Other Guys, which was a complete comedy with Will Ferrell.
Oh,
So
the other guys. Okay,
yeah,
yeah. I watched both of them. Like, and like Samuel Jackson and The Rock are also there. You know.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So in terms of like police comedy, you have to talk about 21st Jump Street,
Oh yeah,
21st Jump Street, and
yeah.
the 22nd one. I mean, it was a little bit like milking the cow, but it still had like so much fun moments.
It did.
Just good.
It did.
Just a,
Yeah, and I think maybe we should watch Bad Boys for Life and see how you think, what you think about that. That's another cop film, and we
yeah.
can kind of
Have you
put
seen it
together.
already? I think you have, right?
I have, yeah,
Yeah.
but just before lockdown.
Yeah, you lucky you. Yeah.
I risked COVID and I went to the cinema, and it didn't work out well for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how did that work out for you? I mean, you think it was worth it?
Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't know any better at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're wrapping this up then, I guess.
Yeah. So, what would be our next movie for next week?
So I actually have it on my list. I already rented it. I'm about to watch it. Ford versus Ferrari, or Le Mans 66, or you know, I don't know how they call it now. So
Great. I watched that last month with my wife. I rented it too, and I'll rent it again. So my memories fresh.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So it's a date. It's a mandate.
It is a mandate.
A mandate.
We have a mandate to have a mandate.
All right. My kind of jokes.
You're open up for me.
Yeah. And as you know, I'm doing this challenge of 100 new movies. New year, 100
Yes.
new. So I'm up to 52 movies now. So 48 to go.
That's impressive. Not even COVID-19 can stop you. You're a man on a mission.
I mean, it just made it easier. You know, I'm just here at home, so like not leaving here in my space station, and you know, I just watching movies and movies. There are days that I watch 2 movies, I've seen a bunch of crap. I gotta tell you, I've seen a bunch of crap, but they all
I guess
make
that's
it
how
interesting.
that's how you're doing it. You've escaped Earth onto your space station. So whilst we're on lockdown, you're still able to go to like, you know, the solar cinema and watch movies.
Yeah. It's it's good. There's one film. There's the rule that I sort of have is like documentaries don't make the cut. So I actually watched Apollo 11. Amazing documentaries. Like there's no over voice. There's nothing. It's just
Right.
like from NASA footage, like everything, and it's just like an amazing.
What streaming service is that on?
Netflix. It's a Netflix.
Nice.
So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. Just like this, like the sheer craziness of it. You know, there's this one scene with like of the rocket just like lifting off, and they do it. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Okay, you've tickled my interest.
Yeah.
So I will be definitely
definitely
having
worth
a look at that.
All right. So next one, which one are we going to talk about? Would it be the Ford versus
Ford
Ferrari?
versus Ferrari? Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Le Mans 60. I can't pronounce it properly. My wife makes fun of me. Le Mans 66.
Est-ce que je parlais un peu de français. Est-ce que les garçons avec les mademoiselles mangeaient du pain? C'est bon, hein? Oui, ok.
Oui.
Genau. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, we have an agreement, and hope to see you again soon, John. And all right, for everyone watching, don't forget to subscribe, like and subscribe.
And ring that bell so you get a notification whenever we drop a video, and share with your friends.
Family and friends, not just friends, families as well.
Not just families too, and babies.
And babies, like babies love this stuff, and you got to start them early as well. Otherwise,
exactly, they love cop films, and you know.
All right, guys, you have a good one. See you all later.
Ciao.
Bye.